All right, greetings everyone and welcome to another video. And today we're first going to be taking a look at the update, then we're going to be taking a look at the data, for new shadow links, because yes, here on JP we do have a new character, she is available, and we have all the data for her. So we can take a look at that, especially if I load in the thing properly. Umber's always prepared. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at a pretty major update for JP that is not available yet in Global. Yet is the key word there. But have no fear, Globalers, you will see this update in the very near future. And to illustrate what the size of this update is, I'm going to need to use Wotv Calc. And just, if you want, pause the video, go to Wotv Calc, and then I want you to go to the JP side and try and scroll down, because this is one of the biggest updates to come on Wotv Calc in a big, long while. And just take a look at this. Take a look at everything that got updated. And you may be saying to yourself, wait a minute, Umbra, this seems just like a lot of vision cards. And yes, that is correct, dear viewer. This was the update for every single old vision card that is not a holo vision card has been updated now with the Elder vision card update. We've known about this for a little while, but it is kind of fun to just like scroll through here and realize, wow, there's a lot of old VCs. Wow, they've all been updated. Wow, what does this mean for my weekend? Why does it have sharp teeth? Well, simply put, let's take a look at what this update looks like. And it's very, very simple. To upgrade a VC into the Elder VC state, as you can see, the Dark Shiva one is one that I have already done, is quite simple. And after you've done it once, you never have to do it again. You don't have to worry about it. So let's take another VC that is particularly pretty good. I don't know, personally, when it comes to VCs, I think that in general, 90 cost VCs are almost always uniformly worth the upgrade because, you had to spend a fair bit. So here is Dark Odin, or Chaos Odin, whatever the heck they've renamed him to. And his VC is excellent for water and ice. And me personally, I am a water and ice player. And if you look, yes, these are all the stats. You can look at all the numbers here. Numbers, beautiful. And if we click into this screen, well, here you go. Here's the preview of the Elder upgrade. Basically, it goes from 4 up to 1. That is the max right now. And you will also get a preview for what is upgraded. So HP, AP, and attack will all get increased for stats, as well as, well, not some of the smaller stats. Things such as agility and whatnot that are pretty minor stats on vision cards will not be upgraded too terribly much. From what I have seen and heard so far, it's basically HP that is colossally, and I say that relatively for these stats, improved on going to an Elder VC. Also, you can see the cost for it. So for URVC, it's costing us 175. I like this VC, so we're not even going to worry about it. And one of the big things is the sub. So this VC upgrading service is available to all old VCs, basically everything that's not a holo VC. And the major thing where you are going to be wanting to spend these limited resources is on VCs that are in the sub part of your party composition. If it's a main one, I mean, you're still getting extra stats, which isn't bad by any standard. But if you're really wanting to get the most out of this Elder VC update, because not everyone has a metric ton of resources, then you want to be doing VCs that are essentially you use in the sub part more than the main part. And you want VCs that are potentially used more. As for party abilities and whatnot, those aren't affected, so you're not really going to get too much terribly else out of this. But as you can see, that's the way it is. Now, for lower cost VCs, let's take a look here. Still 175. Even if we go down to a 60 job VC, such as, not this one, sure, that's perfect. you can see that URs are uniformly costed all the way across. And if we were to go down to something like this, for example, 140, but it's also a different type, so you don't have to worry too terribly much if you're like wondering about, do I need to save these ones? There are different rarities that are for different rarity cards. Speaking of which, let's talk about where you get them. And it's quite simple. Apparently I still have more data to load, but yes. We scroll all the way down here to medals. Here's where you can get them. And there is no limit to how much you can spend immediately. So for instance, here, these are the UR ones. You may see like, oh, look, you're only limited to 100, right, Umbra? No, you can keep buying them. It's just the purchasing limit is at 100 at a time, which is more than a little frustrating. For instance, like right here, when obviously, well, more than just a few that I could spend here. 100's kind of a stupid limit, but whatever. I guess it gives you something to do, right? If you're already a Wotv player, what better do you have to do? But anyway, it's an upgrade that you can use on all types of vision cards, and it's relatively simple and straightforward. And, you know, except for the URs, which are costly, and you should think about which ones you really want to spend the resources on to upgrade, it's pretty damn straightforward and is just going to make your overall team stronger. So just going over here for a second, I also want to say that I think that for currently on JP, when it comes to showing them in party comps, I do believe that there are some UI issues. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I don't want to speak too loudly. But as you can see, yeah, these two VCs have been upgraded, and they made our characters overall just stronger, which is great. That's an awesome thing. So yeah, that's a really kind of quick look at this new system that has been added to JP, but there isn't really also much to talk about because it is just really, really straightforward, which is, yeah, kind of a first for Wotv, and maybe a last too, depending on how it goes. So let's take a look at a few potential upgrades to weapons. While we're at it, to round out this video's time so that YouTube doesn't beat me to death. Alright, starting off with the Ultima Bringer for Hayu, which is now getting initial AP of 15. It still has Ice Killer of 20 and increased defense penetration by 20%. Removed after receiving 2 hits. That's pretty cool. It can also be used for multiple different classes. So it's definitely a pretty good and worthwhile upgrade. It also goes up to 239 attacks, so Ultimate Bringer looks pretty decent. Next up, Glaive of Emptiness, which is Dialdo. And Dialdo, let's see what he's getting. So the same, all the same, except increase critical evasion when HP is over or equal to 50%. That equal to 50% has to be pretty narrow, but yeah, not a terrible thing for a tank to get to potentially evade some extra critical attacks. And as for this, a pendant, which has now been upgraded to no, but I believe that the reason why this is, I think that this was one that was missing for new Lucio. For whatever reason, the pendant didn't activate on him, so that's what I would assume this is. Either way, it's a decrease of AP consumption, elemental resistance, and human killer for 2, which is, you know, generally pretty nice. It also works with new Shadowlings. Speaking of which, that's who we'll be talking about in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and see you later.